game is on. So we are in
America, I think.
I think so. This is America, baby.
Yeah,
And
seems pretty chill.
yeah, it's chill. It's Jamesburg, New Jersey State. We arrived 2 days ago, and for those who do not know, this is my best friend
Hello, bro.
ever, my best friend ever, and also the mother of our beautiful daughter, wife, amazing human being, and currently an immigrant.
It's nice. It is said that when we speak about others, we actually speak about ourselves, right?
So I'm the mother, and
You're the mother, the wife,
I'm the mother, the wife, the immigrant.
the immigrant. Yes.
Yeah, we don't have a theme yet.
But we are walking.
We left the house and we decided to walk a little bit in this quiet New Jersey village, city, town, I don't know how you call it.
Around these houses that look like doll houses.
Yeah, they're like from a studio. It's like
Yeah.
everything is, how do you call
It's like we are walking in a
wood.
studio, yeah.
Yeah, because these are wood houses, and in Europe we are used to concrete and brick houses, but here we have only wooden structure. But it's nice. It's good to be outside. Squirrels, man, this place is beautiful because wildlife is all over the place. I mean, you have squirrels jumping on houses, you have deers everywhere, and
Look, there's the graveyard.
and she said, we stepped out of the house and she said, do you want to go to the graveyard? And I said, wherever you want, baby. That's the destination for me. I hope it's not a prophecy yet. We all reach there.
Yeah, you walk a bit too fast for me. Maybe I can have around the graveyard some rest.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I go out the house, probably because it's cold, I start in a fast pace.
Yeah, but yesterday while I was walking around the graveyard,
You came here yesterday?
yes, I came
You
here.
said you went to the park.
Yeah, I've done left here and I reached the park,
Ah, okay.
but I started here. And I thought, why not shooting here, you know? Why not speaking here, not starting here, our discussion? Because for me, it's a really present theme, this of living in the present moment, in the
Okay.
moment, because you never know how many of these beautiful moments you are still going to get.
Huh.
So it's a good reminder. The graveyard reminds me always to be more, to live the present moment. Yeah, to appreciate what it is in this now.
It's really interesting because I had the fascination with graveyards. When I was in high school, I was a metalhead, and the graveyard was the place to be. I mean, that was something where we used to go with our guitars and some booze and just spend some quality time on the gravestones and sing and drink, you know. So, but
But it was sort of a way of pushing your limits.
It was also something, because metalheads are basically really sensitive people. A lot of philosophers in the group, a lot of poets. So basically, it is a way of finding peace, you know, and
Which way you want to find the
I
peace
don't know.
now?
We just go, just go. This is the end, man. It's the beginning and the end.
Or
you know?
the beginning.
Yeah, this is where we all end up. We'll end up.
But
like,
it's nice, huh? We end up nature, like we started.
look, Samuel T. Dare, he dared enough in his life, and Eliza Craig, his wife. That's the name. So
That
Eliza
might
Craig.
be us.
Who knows, man? I mean, look, it's quite a peaceful place, yeah?
Yeah, with many stones.
Many stones, and sometimes people come and they think that the person is here, but is it really here?
Depends what you are looking for. The bones might still be here.
It's funny because my mom, when we moved to Sibiu, back to Sibiu, after we ended our careers as famous actors in the capital of Romania, Bucharest, in a badass theater. When we ended that and we moved back to Sibiu, my hometown, we moved quite close to the cemetery. It was like, I don't know,
Yeah.
less than a kilometer from the cemetery. And my mom always asked me, have you visited Grandpa? I was like, what? Go and visit Grandpa. I'm like, Grandpa is not there, you know. I mean, he literally left his body behind, but he is not that body. I mean, what's your experience with death? My experience with death, I was sharing a little bit today. It looks like the theme of today, I don't know why.
Because of the cloudy day.
I don't know, we came to America.
And we speak about death. Yes.
What's your experience with death? Oh, Kenny. They killed Kenny. You bastards.
I think it's still one of my greatest fear, although I know that it's not an ending, but another journey. And it's still so much fear inside of this body, but I try to observe it whenever I have the chance of feeling it, and just to let my body understand that this fear doesn't exist. Actually, it's a product of my mind or the experiences that I've been living in this lifetime, and not only. But other than this, I have no other experience with death. My father died some years ago. I actually didn't want to go to his funeral. I wanted to remember him always alive.
Okay.
I didn't want to go, but I went. I was a child, I was 14. And it was so strange to see there only the bones, and he was not there. I couldn't find him there.
Ah, you mean the bones, not literally only the bones, like his body.
His body, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the body.
So,
But it was like a piece of a rock.
uh-huh.
It-
Not alive.
Not alive, yeah.
And how did you experience that? I mean, what's the whole story? So he died, and how? Well, what did that mean to you? Did it change you? That experience? In what way?
I don't know if the experience in itself changed me. Yes, actually it did, because there were some images that really were stuck into my mind, and years after that they started to come out when I was dealing with this fear of dying. this was this image, because in Romania, they're in Moldavia, where he was buried. It's this a custom that you pass a chicken over the grave, you know.
Okay. The
And
superstition
a
is that you have to pass this because of.
I don't know.
No, you-
I know. I never asked actually, but that's the image of the chicken. This rainy day, these guys with their big boots, yes, that were digging the hole.
Muddy boots.
Muddy boots, yes. The body of my father and the how it
In
is
the
called?
casket.
In the casket, yes, without the lid yet being put, and then the lid. They with these dirty boots, putting the lid,
Yeah, putting the nails
the
in the
nails,
coffin.
yeah, and the chicken over the coffin. It was,
That's an image, man.
yeah, those were, yeah, some images, crazy ones. And after years, when I actually started processing this fear of dying, all these images came to me. And
They came back from
they
your
came back from my
subconscious.
subconscious mind, yes.
Okay.
And I had to make peace with his death. And it was actually, I don't know, because he died so early in my life, it was a big part of me that I couldn't understand, because I couldn't actually understand him. And I felt that it is this something that I don't get inside of me. And yeah, my relationship with him continued years after his death. But now we're friends. We have always been friends, actually. But I've let him go. I understood that is a normal process of life, death, and that life continues after death, because we are not this body. But these are things that I didn't know that back then, that my father
Nobody.
is actually not the body.
Yeah, it's a taboo. In Romania, it's somehow in our culture, it's more of a taboo. Death
Yes.
is not considered like a subject to be discussed, because
Yeah, because we think we have only this lifetime,
yeah, in Christianity this is the belief that you have only one life.
and you are so afraid of the ending, because you think it's an ending and you don't get something else besides this, what you know.
What if you mess it up
Yeah. And you reach hell.
forever and
Boom, boom,
ever
boom.
and ever?
Awful. Imagine how much pressure. Yes, but otherwise we are pretty happy nation. A pretty happy nation, huh?
It's interesting that today we started talking about this subject somehow, because for me the experience of death, when it happened with a significant person in my life, and the first person that really meant something to me was when my cousin died, and he had degenerative disease that meant it was muscle dystrophy, so his muscles were not developing, and at one point the heart, being a muscle, couldn't
Work.
beat anymore, couldn't work, so he basically slowly faded away in one summer afternoon. And that was such a powerful moment in my life. I never had this discussion about death with anyone, because
Until then.
yeah, because of my Christian background, because my grandma, who was a wonderful woman, but she was a devout Orthodox, and she had fear of death. She had fear of hell, and she never talked about death. I mean, we never talked about death in our family. And it was it was devastating for me when that happened. It created, it was a cocktail. It was an atom bomb. I was around 14, 15, beginning, I made adolescence when all the existential crises, the big questions were rising, and when this happened, I literally went crazy. I mean, it was the moment when I started hating God. I was so frustrated and angry at God. You have this person that is bound to a wheelchair for most of his life, and he loses his life before reaching 18 or something like that. And it was so unfair. This is what I thought. It's so unfair. Why would you, God, allow something like this to happen? Why would you bring him on earth to experience this and then him dying? Because the perspective that I was having was that we have only one life.
Mm-hmm.
It's one shot. So you are born, you die, and that's it. That's your whole experience on planet Earth. And that it was so unfair. So I said, you are an unjust God if you allow for such suffering to happen. And I literally had a moment in the shower the day I found out. I was taking a shower, preparing somehow to go to his funeral. And I literally took this with the impression that I took God by the collar of his divine robes, and I took him by the neck and I just threw him away. I literally threw him away, and I remember myself thinking, you do not exist.
Hmm.
And from that point on, he disappeared from my life.
You abandoned God.
I didn't abandon, I kicked him out. I literally wanted to take revenge on him. I was so furious, I was so mad. And that began one of the darkest times of my life. I went to college, depression, alcohol, suicidal thoughts, dark, 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 no light in sight, because I literally kicked God out of my heart, basically. So, or at least this is what I felt. So this lack of knowledge and of conversations about death created this situation somehow where I could not understand the meaning. It took me years to make terms with what happened and to understand, accept, and then lately realize the grace of being alive and why would God give you such a life? Because the idea of karma, reincarnation,
You didn't have it.
I didn't have that notion. And when I started to educate myself and I understood more about this, it made complete sense. His life, his death, everything made complete sense. And when the second death, the important death in my life came to be, when my grandfather died, it was a completely different approach, because I went to, that's interesting, I went a couple of days before he died.
Mm-hmm.
I went and I
remember,
visited
yes.
him. You remember, yeah?
Yeah.
So my grandfather was bedridden for a couple of years now. He was paralyzed, he was in bed. Imagine the perfect, gentle, humble, kind grandfather. The epitome of kindness. He was such a gentle person. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And he stayed for many, many years. He stayed in bed, and he was not. You want to hold it?
If you want, you need to hold
You
it.
can hold it. And before he died, a couple of days before he died, I went to him, and he started seeing,
Children.
yeah, on the ceiling.
Yeah.
He said, the children are coming. What children, Grandpa? Look there. See?
They
they're,
are
they're,
playing, huh?
they're in the corner. The children are coming and they are playing and they are calling me to play with with them. And he had these beautiful blue eyes. My grandpa had such beautiful blue eyes. And they were like the sky. And I was looking at his eyes, and he was looking beyond our realm. He had that sight somehow. He was between worlds. And I stayed with him that day. I laid with him in the bed, and I took his hand and I said, Grandpa, when is the last time you exited this room? And he was a really active person. He worked a lot. He was amazing. And he said, I don't remember. I said, don't you want to go outside? He said, yeah, maybe these children are calling you to go outside and play with them. Don't be afraid. He was afraid of dying. He was petrified. He considered himself a sinner, and he was afraid that he will go to hell because of his sins, which were, I don't consider what he did sins. I mean, he did maybe 2 mistakes, but he was so obsessed with those mistakes. I don't even call them sins, just mistakes, things that people just do. So he couldn't let go of life because of that fear. And I stayed with him, and I told him, maybe it's time for you to go and play with those kids, Grandpa, because they're waiting for you. And I asked him, what do you feel when you look at them? Do you feel fear? He said, no. Would you say that it's something dangerous, what they're doing? No. So why don't you go with them? Next time they come, maybe you go and play with them. See what happens. It's good to get out of bed sometimes. And we stayed there, and it was basically our last moment together. And I remember in the other room, my grandma was falling into Alzheimer. And I went to her also, and she was sharing the fact that she's starting to forget. And she was a person that they came from the countryside to the city, and they basically changed their life living in a small apartment. And she stayed all her life in this apartment. And what she did as a regular practice was to think about the past and all the wrongdoings that happened to her. She would do
Very constructive.
every day. She would tell us, and I remember when that person did that to me. And she was an amazing human also. She was devout Christian, beautiful person, but she had this bad habit of always constantly remembering the bad things in her life. And she said, I start to forget stuff. And I tell her, well, Grandma, do you remember that time when that person came and stole that thing from you? I said, no, I don't remember. But do you remember that time when you had to marry Grandpa and you were forced to do that and that? Do you remember? I said, I don't remember. I said, see, God maybe is giving you the gift of forgetting so you can have a quiet life now. And she looked up and she said, yeah, maybe it's so. And a couple of months later, she couldn't remember anyone. Like literally, she couldn't remember her daughter, my mom. My mom was hurting so much that she has been forgotten, but we were looking at grandma and she was like a child. I mean, she was amazing. Her only problems were if there is sun outside or not. And when it was sun, she was super happy. When the sun was not out, she was like, when does the sun come out? She was like, that was her only dilemma, if she could see the sun or not.
Oh, so
And
beautiful.
and she would eat like sugar like crazy. She was like a child. She would put sugar in soup, in stew, in whatever. So we had to hide the sugar from her. And she lived basically a carefree life
Last
for a
years.
couple of years,
Yeah.
being completely oblivious of suffering or anything, you know, with the only remembrance of her prayers. That was her practice. That's the only thing that she didn't forget, how to do her prayers, because she did them morning and night every day for like all her life, and she kept that good practice. And somehow the prayers were the ones that gave her stability in the last years.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandpa died a couple of days later, and I remember going to the church where his body was resting, and I looked at him and I started laughing. He was bald and I started tapping his head. What you doing? You're not here, Grandpa. Where are you? You're not here. It was the opposite reaction from when my cousin died. One of my uncles was looking at me, couldn't understand anything. So what are you doing?
Like he was suffering.
Yeah, because it was his father, and I could understand that.
He
But
was
for
taking
me,
it really personal.
yeah, but for me, the experience of death was so different from when I first experienced it.
You know, nobody tells us that we are not this body,
Yeah,
that we are something beyond that. We sometimes feel it. We can feel this immense joy. We can feel this, how do you say, ușurință, ușurătate.
lightness.
Lightness of the body, like we are not actually in the body.
Mhm.
But we don't have this concept that we don't belong to this body. That is just a vehicle for us to
But
experience
did you
something.
have this experience of not being this body? How do you feel it? How do you perceive it?
I think it happened for me many times in theater, where I had really profound experiences on stage, where I could feel that it's not this I that was doing something, where there was this energy that was feeling everything, and I had this strong feeling that I'm like a channel, you know, through which something happens for everybody to experience. And I actually had some really blessed moments on stage where this love awakened inside of my core, in my heart. And this opened a new kind of dimension that I was I was a bit sad because I was not able to share it with any of my colleagues. But I always had this feeling that we are channels on the stage, and this energy is flowing through us, and there is a message that it is conveyed through us to each and every person in the audience, yes. So they can all take whatever they need in that moment. And for me, as on the stage, there were these precious moments when I was not identifying myself with the body, although I was saying a text and I was doing actions, but I was not so fixed in the body. It was flowing. Something else was flowing through the body. I don't know exactly how to put it into words. but I could feel this other type of energy that was not so concrete. You know, like literally finding myself doing actions, little small actions that were not planned before. Like when you say that the angel, Sapogorito Injeru.
Yeah, when the angel came
Yeah,
on
we
stage.
say it like
There's
that.
a saying between actors when there's a good show and everything is in tune, everybody is in
And
harmony, and
yes,
the
and
show
it's this
really,
sort of magic that happens.
there's a magic, and everybody feels like, yeah, we nailed it tonight. It's like the angel descended.
Because you feel it's not about you, it's not about
Yeah.
the actors, something beyond actors. It's something beyond that happens, beyond.
It's another force that guides you.
Yeah.
It's not you who's doing. It's like you're an instrument for something greater than yourself.
Yes. And those were, I think, the first moments when I had contact with this other type of energy beyond the body. And then, of course, I had some other experiences on the spiritual path when our guru brought us to him and we started our journey, our spiritual journey. There, literally, we're there in the temple, in his presence. I could feel this immense love. I remember first time when we've been to the ashram, I was amazed because I always had a fascination for Little Prince. This is how you call it in English?
Little Prince.
Little Prince.
Antoine de Saint-Exupéry.
Yes. And there it is said that the fox tells him that clearly you can see only with your heart. And we were always talking about this. Yes, you have to abandon your mind into the heart. You have to see with your heart.
Yeah, words. We were talking beautiful words at the beginning. Yeah.
We couldn't understand anything actually, because we didn't have the experience of what it is actually to be in the heart, to live in what was this heart actually.
We had an intuition. It's not like we were completely ignorant.
No, something we were feeling.
We knew something was going on in this realm of the heart, but it was more from the books than from our own experience.
Yes, and I had quite this fascination with the heart. It was something that really interested me. And when we reached the ashram, when we went there to the ashram for the first time, it was so, I had such a powerful experience because there I was literally in my heart. I was only feeling with the heart, and I could observe my mind, how my mind was judging whatever it didn't understand. My mind was judging the deities. It was my first contact with the Hindu culture. I couldn't understand anything of what I was seeing on the outside, but then on the inside I could feel this peace and love, and I had intuitions. I felt like, now my husband is going to come, Aline is going to come, and in 1, 2, 3 you were there, you know, like these small things, thoughts that were coming and really happened. And it was so amazing because I was loving everything that I was seeing. And that was a really powerful experience for me because for the first time I understood what is this love actually, what is, how it is, how you can feel it, how it is felt. And I became the observer of my mind, which we trained a little bit to be that, to observe our minds as actors, but we still were, I still was identifying myself with my thoughts and with the emotions that those thoughts were bringing. And therefore, the first time I could choose not to stop the thoughts, you know, not to think those thoughts, not to go with them. And it was amazing, really, really amazing, because I was, I might say, in bliss for a few days. Those first days for the whole period actually. I was beyond words. I was happy. I was joyful. I was in acceptance with whatever happened. It was amazing, truly amazing. Yes. I was on the best drugs ever, you could say.
The love of God.
No, yeah, the love of God. Yes. And that was the beginning of the spiritual path. Huh? The beginning of this understanding what this love might actually mean. How it is actually felt in the body. A small drop, probably, of what love might actually be. Yes. And then, because the experience was so strong and beautiful and amazing, I said, Aline, I don't know about you. My husband, Rada, was not
born yet.
And I told my husband, I
wedding.
don't know about you, but I am going to follow this master. I don't know him, I don't know anything about him, but this, what I am feeling inside, I want this. Yes, and it was amazing because it changed completely my life. And since then, it's this journey that happens on the inside. The journey on the outside still is, we are still journeying. We are still walking in the graveyard. But
we're walking in the graveyard. It's literally true. I mean, we are doing that. We are walking in the graveyard because everything around us will disappear. Everything will die.
But in the same time, this is so amazing because I am looking at these stones, and in the same time, I travel on the inside and I question this fear of dying or these thoughts that this place bring to me. And it's really nice to really observe this inner journey always and to choose what you want to be in the present moment, what thoughts you allow yourself to have, what emotions do you allow yourself to feel. It's really nice when you start to actually
be aware.
Yeah, to be aware and to actually be able to choose for yourself, because this, what we are on the inside, this shapes the reality on the outside. This energy that we have on the inside shapes what it is on the outside, what we give to the world. The world will bring back to us, will mirror it. So I think it's truly important to start to do this inner journey. We change.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that there is no bench here. It's like people do not want to spend in Romania. In every cemetery you have benches. Yeah, because people really spend time there. I mean, they stay there for a while. They
you
talk
speak with the ones
with
that left.
Ioane, de ce te-ai dus, Ioane? Where have you gone? John, why have you left me? I don't know. People do.
We have this culture of bocitoare, how do you call them?
Wailing.
Yeah. We like drama, so what to do?
Yeah, but here there was no actual bench. I mean, it's like people do not spend time here. They come, pay their respects probably, and they don't spend time. And I saw these dead trees.
Yeah, there is also a dirty river there.
Dead trees and dirty river.
Yeah, this is something that always killed me. The dirt that accumulates.
The language, dead trees killed me.
No, not the trees killed me.
No,
the fact that all the rivers are really dirty, you mean, you know.
Why
and they
are
a
you bothered
symbol
about this?
Because I care about nature, actually. I care about nature, and if you can be kind with nature, then be kind with nature.
Otherwise you're gonna die not being kind to nature. You wanna sit here? You wanna sit here?
Where do you want me to sit?
It's where you want to sit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want you to sit anywhere.
Yeah. So nice. walking with you in the graveyard.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. So a very positive and uplifting moment. We came to United States to have a conversation about death in a graveyard. Yeah, it's.
And what attachments do you have, if you die right now?
So there's the graveyard there, and this is a bunch of dead trees there. A big stump here. These trees who are looking at their future, basically. This is how are we going to end up? Like dead trees. Positive energy. Welcome to my channel. You always get positive, uplifting content daily.
Happy people.
Like and subscribe if you want this type of content. It's like brainwashing. Like and subscribe, comment.
Yes. You cannot stop, actually, huh?
Yeah, I think it's a conversation that people need to have. I think it's important for us to acknowledge the inevitable. I mean, this is truly inevitable. We will all die. And the inconvenience is that we do not know when. So, best way to deal with the situation is to actually live.
Yeah. No.
Actually live, and live every second.
Like it might be the last.
Why not, no?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, we could actually go towards home now and get run by an American truck.
Yes.
A big truck that will
But
end our contract.
I think that something that might be useful in our life would be this gratefulness, to really be grateful for what we have, because we tend to complain a lot and to see the empty side of the, how do you say, partea goală a paharului?
Empty side of the
Glass.
glass.
Yes. But when you live in gratefulness, then it might be that everything could change. This, when you are grateful for whatever you have, then you are also happy, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. It creates a bridge to happiness, gratefulness. I think happiness
think so,
is a daily choice. I mean, you can choose to be happy on a daily basis. It's not by default. It's not something that now that I found happiness because I'm in a good mood and I feel like I'm happy. And now that I found happiness is not going to leave me. Because tomorrow I might be in a different mood and I would be super pissed from the beginning. I mean, I just wake up super pissed without even knowing what happened.
Because we live this conditional happiness. Our happiness is conditioned by
what we feel, what we think, what
happens around us,
other people giving us what we want or not,
desires, expectations.
So it's conditioned happiness. So you have a choice. That means if you can lose it so fast, you can also find it. No, I mean, it's not something that is far away from you. It's not. I think it helps a lot, like you said, to be grateful. Gratefulness it clears the way, it makes it more available, and you can, through gratefulness, you can change perspective. I think this is one of the conditions of being happy, to be able to change perspective. We get caught up in the drama and we take it personally. We think it's all about ourselves and we lose perspective of what we already have, which is the present moment.
Yep.
and life itself in the present moment. We're so smart here in the graveyard. I feel wisdom pouring through me. I'm an instrument of God, sharing all this wisdom with people. Man, we're so smart.
You are so smart.
I'm humble more than smart. That's my great quality.
I learn from you every day.
Hopefully.
Every moment.
Hopefully.
In this present moment, I choose to
Hopefully.
learn from you. To be
Hopefully
grateful to have you
Something will rub
near
onto
me.
you.
Look, I'm so close to
Yeah.
you. Maybe this
Maybe,
humbleness.
yeah, it will help you grow.
Yeah. Dee, dee, dee. I feel like I'm growing, you see?
See, I just that's why I lowered myself, because I'm humble
Of course.
and I support you in your journey. I think it's important for you to also grow.
Thank you for your support. Thank you.
It helps you. It helps you to be in my presence.
A lot. A lot.
It does.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
God.
you. Thank you.
I'm a gift that was given.
For humanity.
Maybe if I reach million subscribers, humanity will
Truly benefit.
Will truly understand the benefit of knowing me. But who knows? It's up to the people if they understand the gift.
Yes, they
and
all
want to
choose
share
for
it.
themselves, you know.
You just have to share the link so people subscribe. So this wisdom doesn't get wasted. And
So subscribe, like, share. This is the guy. You will learn a lot, you will experience a lot of stuff with him.
yeah, who knows? Who knows? If I don't die, maybe. But this is actually why I record all of this, because it might be the legacy.
Yeah, because you actually
the
might
world.
die.
Who knows? I might die now.
Yeah. It's very convenient here near the
On
graveyard. On camera.
After talking about death, this would be like, it would reach millions of people. I would make so many views. I have to set up the account so you can receive the money if I make millions of views and I die.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna set up for you for life. Even,
Okay.
yeah, just,
Okay, sounds good.
just by making a YouTube channel, basically, you could be rich.
You could pay for Rada studies.
Oh, definitely. That's why I'm doing this.
Yes. You actually want to help children.
This is my altruistic nature.
Yeah.
I don't think
Very
about
good.
myself.
It was
I'm
a pleasure
selfless.
to speak with you. It's always a pleasure.
But I think this is an exercise that we could do more often.
Sitting in a graveyard.
Walking in the graveyard with your wife is the best way to have a nice relationship. It reminds her that she doesn't have to push you to the limit. Who knows? No, it's a good exercise for us to do this on a regular basis, to have this type of conversations that we don't allow ourselves to have. This is not a conversation
We
that
have
you
them
allow
all the
yourself.
time.
We do. We do.
You speak generally
As
we.
a culture, we don't allow ourselves as
No, we hide it.
people. People don't like to have this conversation about death. Why would you do a video about two people walking in a graveyard talking about death? Where is the fun in it? Where you see people like jumping with their likes and comments, like, oh my God, I want more like this. I want more content, please. The graveyard was amazing. Please, more footage, close-ups. So the gray stones, the weather is amazing. Uplifting content, man. Gave hope for
It
humanity.
helped me so much to get out of my depression.
Yes. it's also somehow, that's why I call it an exercise, because we lack this we lack the curiosity of exploring uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable places. And they are uncomfortable because of our culture and our upbringing, not because it's quite a pleasant place. I mean, it's quiet, as quiet as it can be next to the street, but there is a peace inside it. There is a peace inside it. I wouldn't do it on a daily basis, but it helps you to contemplate death.
To calm your mind.
When you're gonna die, why waste your life with shit that doesn't matter? Honestly, I mean, you're gonna die. Everybody's gonna end up here.
Yeah.
With all their houses, all their cars, all their looking for fame and glory and all these material possessions that mean nothing. None of these people, they're all the same. Do you know if someone was rich or poor? You could judge by the stones, and you just had more money. But do you really know if he had more money or not?
Yeah, it doesn't
Do you
matter
know
anymore.
what his CV was, what he left behind? You don't know anything. So you end up here, and your life sums up to what? A stone on a patch of grass. That's it. That's all your life.
I might cry. You're so profound, Margita.
This is wisdom bombs. People should pick up their notebook and write this, because it's deep wisdom.
Yes.
I'm going to a metaphysical state now. Wait.
Yeah.
Something more is coming. But honestly, it puts things in perspective. Don't smile like that. You have to be like, yes.
Yes. Yes, because you're my
just
husband,
nod.
yes.
Yeah, just nod. Like,
You see this?
that tear that.
From the wind, but
No,
we
it's
can
not
say it's
from
from
the
your
wind,
wisdom.
it's-
It's from your wisdom.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
Look.
She's an amazing actress. She's like, she could cry on command. This raw talent.
To do
And
all
she gave up
old
her
habits
career.
die hard, huh?
She gave up her career to do what?
Being a mother, householding, taking care of you, cooking for you,
Serving your husband.
serving your husband, your child. All
Instead
this,
of being a famous actor in Bucharest,
yeah. Instead of serving my own ego,
you
I
chose to serve others.
to serve others. Yeah.
What a fool.
Yeah, you might
You could
call
have
me
had
a
a
fool.
star, maybe a nicer grave with more flowers for 1 week.
I cry for my buried ego here. It's buried
lost-
somewhere here.
You lost the chance to have a nice gravestone. Now you're a Hindu, you don't even have a gravestone anymore
No.
because you're going to be burned. So you lost your chance to
yeah,
be
I will
remembered
reduce
in
to
any
ashes.
way. You're nothing, dust.
Dust
Dust.
in the wind.
Yeah, so it's 1 hour of profound conversation about
1 hour?
death. 54 minutes.
05.
So you did it.
Yes,
You did
yes,
it,
I
yes.
faced my fears. Yes,
I'm so happy for you.
yes, I
Maybe
was
we
so
should-
scared.
She was scared, man. Would you believe it?
Of not speaking English correctly.
cares about-
Correctly.
Yes, it's really beautiful that we did this.
Hmm.
It's just the beginning.
Of a beautiful monologue
Yeah. It's
in
really
English.
nice. Really nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so happy. So, yeah, this is our conversation.
So like, share, subscribe to his channel. This is a great, 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 great man.
I love my wife. She's amazing. She always supports me. Yeah, we came to United States to have a conversation in a graveyard about death. So this is interesting turn of events. What we're gonna do next this weekend is going to Elmira,
Yes.
New York, to an amazing temple, the temple of Narasimha. It's I literally don't want to say anything about it because I would like to have some footage and film something there and present you that.
Death?
No, death. death. Snap out of it. Narasimha is the conqueror of death. He has a mantra, Ugram Viram
Mahavishnum. Jvalantam.
Smarantam, Shvalantam.
Better don't say it, man, if
Oh
you
my
don't
God.
know it.
Ugram Viram
Mahavishnum. Jvalantam Sarvatomukam. Narasimham Vishanam Badram. Mrityum Namamyaham.
I learned it with melody. And one of the lines says, the conqueror of death. Death itself is conquered by Narasimha. So maybe it's not by chance we had this conversation about death. I will put a link in the description
interesting,
with the mantra. It's a really powerful mantra. It's an amazing mantra. Maybe we should talk about mantras also. What do they mean?
That would be really nice. Because
Yeah.
they are really, really powerful tools for the mind.
Conquering the mind. And actually Narasimha is a form of God that came on earth for a really short period of time to conquer the ego, basically. He's the
Yes.
destroyer of the ego.
Of the I.
Yeah. So it would be a really nice introduction for Elmira, this video. Maybe we should film one episode there.
Yeah, why not?
We see how it.
Now that I conquered my fears.
Now that you can
Yes.
speak in front of the camera.
Yes, now
gonna-
I will not stop.
She's gonna be a co-host for this series.
So prepare yourself. You are going to hear to listen to many mistakes. But try
English is
not to
your
judge.
strength. Maybe you do your own channel.
With my own language. With my own language, you know.
Matuka Dasi.
Mm.
Who knows? Maybe she will have a channel of herself.
We are-
Ideas.
Where we can party. Not like this boring
Yeah, boring wisdom
walks
channel.
that you have here.
Yeah, boring walks. Share your poetry. Next time I challenge you to share a poetry. Do you want to read the poem now?
No.
No?
No.
She writes
But now,
amazing-
not in the graveyard. In a more poetic atmosphere. Although I don't know where I can
Maybe
find
you
more
die.
poetry than this.
Maybe you die and you don't have
I
the chance
will
to...
let you this legacy.
But it's
I
on
will
your phone, I
record
don't know
them.
where... Maybe
No, I don't have the first one with me. That one I don't have it.
You don't have it? Where
No.
did you record it?
It's written down, old school, in Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You wrote it down on
Yeah.
a notebook?
Yeah.
You should write it on your telephone also.
So share, like, subscribe, and see you soon. See you in Elmira. Have fun, enjoy life. Think about dying.
Contemplate
and-
death.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good exercise.
Yeah.
Really good exercise. Because you'll appreciate life. It's that simple.
Yes.
Big love.
Love,
Thank
love,
you.
love.
Stay grounded and walk straight.